All right, if you're watching this video, that means I guess I did okay, and I'm gonna show it to you. But I've got my old pinstripe and paints out and my old brushes, and the only problem is the old me. This is one of those things that if you don't do it all the time, then you really lose your touch. So I'm doing this little air breather for a buddy of mine. He says it doesn't have to be perfect, and I told him good, because it's not going to be. Let's see what we're going to do to get started. First, I'm going to lay this piece of paper up here, and I'm going to get my center point where the air breather holds down, and I'm going to go ahead and sketch out a design. So let me get this secure, and then we'll start sketching out something. All right, so this circle right here is not going to be part of it. I did that because it helps me find the center of the circle that's in there, because that's going to be a reference point when we start doing the regular pinstripe. A lot of guys don't do it this way. They'll just get in there and just start running lines. My imagination doesn't work. My mind doesn't work that way anymore. It may have used to. My bad thing is I only did this as a hobby. I've never pinstriped for a living, and usually I won't pinstripe the cars that I build. For one, I like the pinstriping much more on a panel in the garage, more so than I do on a car. Sometimes a little bit of pinstriping is good, but it really all depends on the style of the build that you're doing. But this is not the first attempt. This is probably the third attempt that I've done this. So I'm happier with this than I was the first two times. So I guess this is going to be what I'll run with. I'm going to make this right here go up. So from this point, I'm going to do a pounce wheel, and I'll take this little jagged spur here, and it's a pounce wheel, and I will trace out this pattern that I've done here on a piece of cardboard, so that this little spur will perforate the paper. Then I'll take some chalk and dab some chalk on here, and then it'll leave little bitty pinholes everywhere, and then I can pinstripe those pinholes. So let's see if we can get that done. All right, so you saw me use the pounce wheel. Now what I'm going to do is flip it over, and where I perforated it on the back side, I'm just going to lightly sand the little marks. Perforation. And it's just going to open them up so that they'll let more of the chalk dust out. You can see them opening up now. It just has a little chad on the back side where it tried to make a hole. And all of these supplies that I'm using, I've had this thing forever, but I'll see if I can't find a link that has those. And also and also the one-shot, where you might be able to get your one-shot paint from. Most of this stuff I've had for a long time. All right, so before I cover this up, it's been powder coated. I'm gonna go ahead and run some wax and grease remover over it, just to make sure it's clean. All right, so I made some reference marks on the side. Actually, it didn't. I need to kick it over in the back a little bit. All right, I think we got it that time. Now let's see if we can't pounce it. But this is just chalk from a carpenter's chalk line. And I'm just gonna put some of it inside of this paper towel. If it was a regular paper towel, it might work better, but I don't even know if it's gonna work at all. This stuff comes out everywhere when you don't want it to. All right, let's see how good that does. What we're gonna do is wrap this up. That way I can throw this away, the little pounce bag, when I'm done. Our chalk's inside there. I don't know if it's gonna work or not. We may have to try something else, like an old sock. All right, guys, so you missed just a little bit. I'm gonna have to go back and show you what I did to get to this point. The batteries just don't last like they used to. So anyway, I took this paper towel, filled it with Carpenter's plumb line chalk. I made a little baggie out of it, got my knot of chalk there, and then I just went around and pounced the entire surface where we did all the little perforations. Just like this. And of course, it's pretty self-explanatory. What I'm doing is driving the chalk through those holes. Probably gonna need to go a little bit more. I got the chalk down, so let's just this technique right here is mostly done by sign painters. The Pinstripe guys are professional and they don't need any guidance. I've always needed the guidance. If I'm doing something really small, it might be easy to come up with a design. But like I said before, I went through 4 sheets of paper just to come up with a design because I got tired of erasing. So, but anyway, I think that's going to be a good design, and I think my buddy's going to like it when I get finished. All right, so let's take this off. Let's see how we ended up. There you go. just enough of a line to do the design. All right, so what I'm doing is I've got a Stabilo pencil, and after I've done my chalk impression to get my design on here, I'll do a Stabilo drawing around it or over it so that I can see my design. And this is going to give me something to go by when I'm painting it. And we can get rid of the chalk. The chalk was to lay out my design only. Now, if the chalk was white, you may have been able to just go over the chalk. But if you guys want to learn how to do this, I'll share a link on a couple of YouTubers that I follow that do pinstriping, or just put in pinstriping in your search bar and you'll find hundreds, I'm sure. The Stabilo stays on. And there's our design. And now all we have to do is patiently paint it. Now, if it was out of place or I needed to move something around, we would have already known that. But now we're not too late to where we could go back and correct our problem. But I'm too old and I don't know how to come up with all this design in my head on the fly like you see the guys do. So now we've got to pick some colors. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I had to dig out the brushes, knock off the cobwebs, and put this little Cadillac air breather together for a buddy of mine. I hope you get something out of it. It's just something I was doing in the shop this weekend. You need to get out in the garage and go build something. Thanks for watching, guys.